Support for the Man Whore podcast comes from Promescent, the delay spray to help dick havers last longer in bed. I hate it when she's going, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. And I'm thinking, if I don't stop, then this part of the sex is going to be over real soon. Now, Promescent won't make your partner come, but it'll give you more time to figure it out. I use just a couple sprays and wow, definitely makes my cock feel ready for the long haul. And you can get 15% off your bottle of Climax Control Spray or any of Promescent's wellness products when you use promo code MANWHORE15 at promescent.com. Again, free shipping on most orders and 15% off at Promescent, PROMESCENT.com with promo code MANWHORE15. The Man Whore podcast is sponsored by Alt Playground. APG is more than just a place to find couples to swap with. Alt Playground is a lifestyle community for all non-monogamous and sexually adventurous people to connect and share. And I started a profile. Join me over at altplayground.net. That's altplayground.net. Now let's get to the show.
Welcome to the Man Whore Podcast.
Shout out to my cold sore getting in the way of eating out my girlfriend since yesterday morning. This is Billy Procida, and you are listening to the Man Whore Podcast. Yeah, hashtag normalize cold sores. I don't know what to tell you. Welcome to the show. This week, folks, I've got on a fellow stand-up comedian and Redditor, Kit Williams. Oh, she was so much fucking fun. I can't wait to share her with y'all in a little bit. But first, Megan and I, we went over the weekend. We went to a drive-in movie theater. And no, we did not get into some hanky-panky there because it was a drive-in showing of the PG film Space Jam. I actually have a Space Jam Donald Duck jersey, like an official Donald Duck basketball Space Jam jersey that I wore, found it in a thrift shop in Portland. And we went, and I gotta tell you, the movie kind of holds up. I thought there were going to be glaring plot holes throughout the thing, like most children's movies. But no, it's fairly intact. Terrible acting by MJ, but a fairly intact film, I would say. Now, if you don't know the premise of Space Jam, then I think you're about 23 years old, and don't worry, I will tell you. Space Jam is about Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes playing a basketball game against aliens, who, if they win, they get to take all the Looney Tunes to a faraway alien planet where they serve as attractions at some sort of theme park, right? And the way these little tiny alien dudes become competitive is they go steal the powers, the talent of some of the most prominent NBA players at the time, like Patrick Ewing and Charles Barkley, stuff like, and Muggsy Bogues and Sean Bradley and Larry Johnson. And now in the movie, in the real world, there's this panic in the NBA about what's happening to these players. Are they sick? Is there some sort of neurological issue? Is there a virus maybe spreading throughout the clubhouses? And in it, they talk about potentially shutting down the NBA. There's a scene where the Los Angeles Lakers refuse to go change in their locker room because they're like, we don't fucking know what's in there. And so they literally put on gas masks and they change out in the hallway just so they don't have to go in the locker room. And they propose shutting down the NBA over an unknown virus that might be spreading. We have a virus right now that we know is spreading rampantly, and we're just I don't know, we can still play the game. I also I was watching an episode of House MD recently, a good old season 8 episode of House, and there's a conversation about some dude who stockpiled weapons. And then there's this little debate among two characters who go that's ridiculous to have that many guns. And another one's is it ridiculous? What if civilization falls? What if there's a terrorist attack or a pandemic where we ration out medical supplies. And literally the character in response goes, "That's ridiculous." Oh, is it? Is it ridiculous? It's crazy. Something of not just about COVID times, but Trump times, but also COVID times is like, it's difficult to make exaggerations that are funny because like the exaggerations we would have said 10 years ago, 5 years ago, like they're reality now. Like you can't make the distinction of like, what are you talking about? That's crazy. Okay. That would be like if the federal government like sent unmarked federal troops to a city to kidnap citizens off the street. Oh, wait, shit. I'm genuinely feeling that like problem as a comedian where I'm like, I don't even know like where to make fun of what and like what mechanisms to use because so many of like I said, like exaggeration, hyperbole, they once were hyperbole and now they're like options. And it's fucking terrifying. But if you have the opportunity to watch Space Jam, I recommend it. Okay. Last week I read a message from a listener who expressed gratitude about me being able to find fat women attractive. Now, this is not something to give anyone brownie points for. Just like, you don't get anti-racist points for sleeping with black girls. This was a woman who ultimately was trying to share that a previous conversation of ours helped her with her body image issues. If you didn't hear it, that's because it's not there anymore. Yeah, I got messages from multiple people who didn't just take issue with, but felt hurt by what they heard. It was clear to me that like I missed a mark somewhere, even though I wasn't entirely sure how at the time. So I decided to clip out the question and re-upload the episode since, only a certain percentage of my audience had even downloaded the show by then. I'm not one to make post-release edits like that, but I wanted to minimize the harm caused by my words, at least until I figured out what I said that was so wrong and how and why. I don't really want to stand by something if I don't know how to defend it. These are just a couple snippets of the feedback I received that afternoon. One said, "Hey, I listened to the first part of your episode today, and I have to say that what you said at the beginning, whether joking or not, was incredibly degrading and has in fact made me quite angry." Another listener chimed in with, "You told a girl to go out and be sexy for someone else rather than herself, which just really hit me the wrong way." I only spoke for about 20 or 25 seconds. I think I said about 6 sentences. It was uncomfortable getting praised for something I think is basic. It's weird, it'd be like someone saying like, "Oh, it's great how you didn't punch that homeless person in the face." And so I sarcastically was like, "Sure, I'm a hero, I guess." And it's clear to me that my sarcastic reference to being a hero wasn't sarcastic enough to register. Exaggeration is a tool of humor, but if I don't exaggerate enough, it's possible you take what I said at face value. For that, I'm sorry. What I said next was also a botched attempt to convey a point that Megan and I have talked about privately. This concept of the happy fat chicken society. So, like, no one needs to be sexy for someone else. And when I talked about the importance of seeing plus-size women who are hot and happy and sexual, I was talking about seeing that more in life and in media and such. Not like me seeing that, but like us seeing that, the capital U, us. I thought it was obvious, but I'll just say it clearly. No one needs to be sexy for any particular one person other than maybe oneself. Another brief thing to mention is not something I said, but the listener's message at one point said she was glad I found fat chicks attractive, quote, because of it, not despite it. I think what she was trying to say is that I don't find excuses to have sex with plus size women. People will do that when they feel ashamed of a kink of theirs or a type of person they're attracted to or worried about what others are going to think. I mean, that's what the down low in black culture is like all about. Shame. And shame has been a literal killer for like as long as there's been shame. But the listener's message, maybe made it sound like we were promoting fetishization instead. Megan is impressive to me for a plethora of reasons. One of them is that she's super gorgeous. Duh. And being plus size isn't the reason I think she's gorgeous. I just think she's a babe. Like when I show someone a picture, I don't need to rattle off these other reasons to justify being with a big chick. I just show a picture and ask them not to drool on my iPhone. I actually recorded a different take before the one you heard, where I went more into fetishization and how you shouldn't date someone solely because of their size and how that's dehumanizing. And and I ended up starting the whole thing over, and I just tried to keep my email responses more brief. And in that new brevity, I didn't clarify the listener's language at all. I'm not above saying I'm sorry for not doing my job well. Thanks again to those who wrote in. There's only so much of a check on myself I can be, and getting that feedback so quickly and so forcefully is what let me know that this wasn't just one or two people being sensitive, but me missing the mark. And if you heard this and feel you need to share how it affected you, you're welcome to drop me a line. Your criticisms will be met with grace. And if you want it kept private, obviously, please feel free to tell me not to read it on air. And if you think that that all applies to you, my email address is manwhorepod@gmail.com. I'm just here trying to do better today than yesterday and better tomorrow than today. And I'm not going to be perfect at that either, but I also think that's the best any of us can do. So thank you all for your patience with me. I don't really know what to do as a palate cleanser, so let's go into a little teaser I've got with Sophie Marie Paget. Ooh, Sophie Marie Paget. Oh, so French. Sophia is the founder of an online community called Lovers and Friends. We record a bonus episode that is now available exclusively on Patreon for all of my $5 and up members. So let's go have a little chat with Sophie Marie Paget. All right, I'm here right now with Sophie Mona Pages. Did I get it? Pages?
Yeah, exactly. Really, very well.
Okay, there we go. Look at me. Hey, everybody, I'm French. Look, Sophie is the founder of Lovers and Friends, an online community for like-minded people to connect. And we just recorded a wonderful bonus episode talking a bit about the difference between kind of like French culture and American dating cultures. And now, but something that you mentioned in the emails, which I was like, okay, is that you believe that a friendship first attitude towards fucking is important.
Yes.
That not even just for relationships. Sound like even if you're just trying to bang people, that a friendship first mentality might be the better idea. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, pleasure. But I didn't say just for fucking. It's in general, like any sort of relationship you want to get out of, meeting people. But yeah, I guess the friendship first approach is better because that's, in a way, you get rid of the pressure that you have when you meet people. Also, it's all about being curious about one another. So it's interesting because if let's say you're looking for something specific, you'll discard some people.
Snap. Hey, Sophie. I had a little blip on my end. I'm just gonna do another quick pause, and I'm just gonna restart that over. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Nothing you said was wrong. You're good. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right, and I'm here right now with Sophie Mona Pages. Love saying your name. It's so French. She's the founder of Lovers and Friends, an online community, and an advocate for friendship first.
Wow.
As a way to move through this world.
I didn't know I was an advocate for friendship first, but thanks.
Yes, you're the poster child right now for friendship.
Okay. So that's a book is on its way then. Thanks.
Well, yeah, we just recorded a wonderful bonus episode that's already out on Patreon for my $5 members, where we talked about differences between kind of French dating culture and American dating culture. But one thing that is very interesting, half of your site's name is Friends.
Yeah.
And French. I think you also mentioned this when you talked about going on sites or going to parties that. Sometimes when you enter a sexual space, people forget that you're human and they're just so focused on the sex part.
Yeah.
And that, like, even if this is going to be like an encounter that only lives at this party, you still should treat that person like a human, dare I say, a temporary friend.
Yeah, that's what I think. And I think it's best for everyone, because you foster a different kind of environment. And also, you never know, whatever your relationship quest is, maybe this person that you would be discarding because you don't have this friendship first approach is someone who could get you closer to the person you actually like to meet. So I think really, like, having this friendship first approach is so much better. And the thing is, there is so much more to get from someone than just the sex. So it's kind of a shame to miss on experience that people can share with you, or the connection. Or so yeah, I think it's really a better approach to have. It really makes me sad when I see some people acting like predatory with one another, because they have this thing in mind, they have this fantasy, and they just want to get it, and that's it.
Yeah, a lot of people forget about the friends part of friends with benefits,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And I don't know, like I like to be friends with the people I fuck. Like it's not as fun for me to not like the person that I'm gonna go spend an hour or two with, rolling around naked in a bed. I wanna enjoy that person in between the orgasms, and so many people miss out on that opportunity. And I also think when people, are too focused on the sex part, and then they forget being like a decent human, they end up not getting to enjoy the sex part because the person's like, wow, you're like creepy or aggressive or
Yeah,
too sex focused or kind of rude.
yeah, exactly.
People forget that, like, even if you're in a highly sexual space, or if, I like to cruise around on Reddit. I used to cruise around on Craigslist, and I always responded, or I always tried to respond to the ads I would see in a friendly way.
Mhm.
Granted, I would like adjust it depending on like how raunchy or super sexual they wanted the ad to be. If it feels like a normal ad, I'm going to be like, hi, my name's Billy. Like, saw your ad. Really enjoyed X, Y, and Z part of it. That's really cool. I'm a comedian. I do this. I also like to put my dick in pretty people's mouths. I have a lot of varied interests. And it seems like we should like combine our interest, right? Like I would cut, like, I don't write one or two lines. I'm writing like a short email, like a
Yeah,
good email or a good message, because like, you want them to like you enough that they will let you put
yeah.
your dick in their
You,
mouth.
you want to you want to connect with people first and foremost.
Yeah. Even if it's momentary, like you
Yeah,
still want to connect, whether it's going to be for a night or for a lifetime.
yeah, of course.
Connection is so important. And I don't know, personally, I think the connection makes the sex even better.
Yeah, exactly. But then I'd just like to add that it's
Hmm.
valid too to have sex with a stranger. I have
Hmm.
really no, like, for me, this is totally valid. I'm not saying you should only have sex with people you connect with, but I mean,
Oh, Sophie, I am, trust me, you were talking to the guy who is all on board
yeah, I
with
know.
sex with strangers. But even
We've
in
heard,
those
we've heard,
stranger
we've heard,
encounters,
we've heard about you, Billy. You have a reputation here too.
oh my gosh, do I? Did my reputation go across the Atlantic?
Yeah,
But but again, like even in that stranger scenario, it's good to be friend. Like it's I forget about good. I think it's human
yeah,
to still want to connect,
yeah.
even for this. I mean, geez, 2 weeks ago I got a blowjob out of my car in the Bronx from some chick while I wore a mask who like I'd never met and I didn't even know what she looked like. And I was just supposed to pull up to this one location. But in
Wow. Oh
our
my God, this
text,
is wild.
oh yeah, yeah, this is just an average day in my life. But
Thank
you
you for
know,
sharing.
it,
I feel honored.
well, in the messages we exchange, in the texting leading up to it, like I'm not just focused on, oh, can't wait, put my dick in. Like I'm asking, like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
I'm really excited about today. Ah, how you feeling? You in a good headspace? You are you excited for this too? I shouldn't be the only one excited. Like again, it's we can call it being friendly or focusing on connection, or I think the humanity is such an important part, even in
Yeah,
those
it's
those
to
brief
be
connections.
kind, to be kind with people. But it's complicated
Hmm.
because nowadays, it's something I really despise with dating apps, is that it makes it so easy to treat people like, just items. So unless you really stand for this, like for some people, it's really easy to just not really care about one another.
Hmm. Yeah, and then that. Sorry. And yeah, and then that has seems to have inspired you to start Lovers and Friends. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Ah, yes, thank you. Yeah, Lovers and Friends, it's an online community. We have members all around the world, so basically from California to the Middle East. And what we do is that we curate connections. So all the members, they have to go through an interview with me and fill in a form to be selected to be able to join. And then once you become a member, you have access to a range of online events that are designed to spark conversations around member stories, members' questions, or culture. So we like to use books or film to have conversation. And we just want to create safe spaces where people can freely discuss anything, love, sex, relationships. So they feel, empowered rather than not so sure about things when it comes to these topics that can be taboo in society.
And just to clarify, Lovers and Friends is not a dating site. It's not a hookup site thing. That's not the purpose. It doesn't seem like that's the purpose
No,
of the community.
that like connection is a purpose, but I mean it's like hooking up or meeting, so like some yeah. How can I say that? It's more like, let's say,
Those things are going to happen whenever you put a
yeah,
large enough group of people together talking to each other.
exactly.
But the intent of the site,
Yeah,
isn't necessarily that.
the intent is more about connecting around shared experiences or supporting one another. It's interesting because a lot of our members, they will tell me, "Oh wow, I don't feel alone anymore. It's so good
Mm.
to see that there are people like me out there, and they are cool people. They like role models to me even. So it makes me feel like I'm stronger when it comes to my choices." So that's really the point of this, is just to show our members that their choices are valid and that they're not the only one making
Mm.
those choices, and that it's okay.
Yeah, and you even said that that you've made some friends, not intimate partners, just some really good friends
Yes.
from being on the site. Yeah, do you want to maybe share how one of those friendships transpired? Did you both really enjoy baguettes? I heard French people do baguettes. I did a little research, very minimal.
Oh god, I miss baguette. I couldn't even go back to Paris at the moment because of the lockdown, but yes.
Are y'all sorry, not to get too off topic, but real quick, are y'all are reopening the European borders, right?
Yes, yes, but the thing is that it's complicated. The connection between London and Paris is with the Eurostar, a train, and they're so fucking expensive. I hate this company. So at the moment, I'm kind of like, okay, waiting to see when we can actually go back to Paris to visit family. So
Okay.
no,
And
no baguettes.
you are with your husband right now. You're not like
Yes.
in different countries. Okay,
No,
cool.
no,
Thank God.
no, no, no. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm really grateful. I really cannot complain about my lockdown. I was with my husband. We're safe. I'm okay.
Beautiful. And so yeah. So do you want to tell us about like one of these friendships that have transpired?
Yeah, there is my friend John, who I actually met before I launched Lovers and Friends, and who was the person I was crying in the arms the day before I did the first ever event that started everything, which it was a social mixer. And I remember like telling him, "Oh my god, I'm such a failure. This is gonna be a disaster." Blah blah blah, and it wasn't. So and it's so nice because he's been following the whole adventure and helping me a lot, giving feedback, coming to events. And along the way, he met his partner. I don't know if I can say name. I'm a bit like worried to like
That's
out
okay.
people, but he met his partner, who I love very much, and they were with us yesterday having dinner, and thinking about how this whole community has developed beautifully. We are so grateful to see that now we diversity is very important to us, and the fact that now on top of like we can add this geographical layer of diversity to the mix, it's so nice. It's beautiful.
Hmm. Well, if anybody wants to hear more of my conversation with Sophie, where we talk a little bit about your marriage and your relationship dynamics and such, they can go on over and join my fan whore community at patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. But Sophie, where can they find lovers and friends if they're interested in meeting some new friends and who knows, maybe lovers?
Yeah, please check out our website. So it's www.loversandfriends.com. That's LVRSNFRNDS.com. It's complicated.
Yeah, no vowels.
Sorry. Sorry, it's typical French. We are very complicated people. And you can also check us out on Instagram at Lovers and Friends. So LVRSNFRNDS.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sophie, for chatting with us. And
Merci,
why don't you go ahead and say
Billy.
goodbye to
Merci.
Merci.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Again, go check that out. Go check out the Patreon if you want to hear more of her, as well as nearly 200 bonus episodes of the Man Whore podcast. Yeah. Have you binge listened through this whole thing and you're just like, I need more Man Whore? There's so much more Man Whore available on the Man Whore podcast Patreon, as well as like a lot of other bonus content. You get a little more access to yours truly. And that's a good time to do the fan whore appreciation moment. Yes, because being a member also means you get a shout out right here on the podcast. This is the part of the pod where I like to give some love to the people who have been loving me with their credit card. Love it. Right now I want to give a shout out to Brad Isaac. Ooh, daddy. Looking good in that white suit. Looking sharp. Looking fresh. From what I can gather on his social media, when he got married, he wore like a fresh white suit. And I'm like, you know what, dude? Feeling it. Way to go. I don't have the confidence for a white suit. Good on you for having it. And thanks for supporting the show. And I want to give a thank you to Evans Knight. And look, I don't want to make it weird, but I kind of like scrolled through some of your social media and I checked out the pics. And I'm just saying, you look sassy and I need you in my corner, buddy. Everyone needs a sassy mouth in the corner to make your opponents cry. And I'm kind of leaving that to you. Got it? Cool. Thanks for being a member. All you got to do is go to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. Again, that's Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. Become a member. It's what all the cool kids do. And it also helps keep this podcast afloat, especially during such tough times. I know there are tough times for all you out there. But if a lot of you do your part with just $2, it helps keep, a roof over my head, the Wi-Fi on, and condoms on my cock. And now for this week's guest, Kit Williams. Kit is, this was a serendipitous coming together of people. I responded to a Reddit ad about a week ago who wanted to do some race play. Ooh, race play. Very scary. It's very easy to go horribly, tragically wrong. But I was like, hey, if that's going to get you off, if that's going to make the inner thighs quiver, I could give that a go. I was like, I'm a comedian. I have improvisational skills. I could probably work with this. Can you just give me like a clearance of which terms I can use, please? By the time she called me in response to me responding to her ad, she kind of had been like, I don't know if that's a good idea considering everything going on. And I was like, yep. And we ultimately didn't hook up. And that's fine. That's cool, right? But she is a comedian. She is a performer. And I thought it was really interesting that she wanted to try some race play, that was a fantasy of hers, that also it was a fantasy of hers that she has decided not to have realized, or at least not have it realized by a stranger on Reddit. And let's go get to know Kit Williams. Can I be honest with everybody right now? Like right now I'm feeling a little physically exhausted, and I just kind of want to lay back and go to bed, but like also feel a little tingly down below the waist. Oh, you know what might do that? Some ASMR. If only I knew a place. I think I do. Hotmovies.com. Look, people, when I tell you that hotmovies.com has all the videos that you need, they have all the videos that you need. They license content from all your favorite porn stars, all your favorite studios with all your favorite fetishes. I mean, seriously, I'm typing in right now ASMR fantasy starring Angela White. Oh, that's who I want to whisper in my ear as I fall asleep with a raging heart on. Yes, Angela, make me come without touching myself. That's what I want to see. I didn't think that they'd have a result for ASMR and I would just be cracking jokes on like the weird search results, but no, they have ASMR. Description: ASMR Fantasy is an erotic and immersive role-play series providing an adult twist to some of the most popular ASMR themes available online. Autonomous sensory meridian response is a physical sensation of tingling that usually begins in the scalp and moves down through the body. Oh, God. Y'all remember like years ago when I found that erotic hypnosis video and I almost had a strokeless orgasm? I'm curious if I'm going to sense the same thing here. I'm going to have to give this a try when we turn the mics off. And the affordable place for me to go stream that movie is at hotmovies.com. And Hot Movies, they love the Man Whore Podcast. They love you for listening to the Man Whore Podcast. So they're going to hook you up with 20 free minutes on top of any package you sign up for at hotmovies.com using promo code MANWHORE. So go to hotmovies.com, use promo code MANWHORE for 20 extra minutes. The Man Whore Podcast is proud to be sponsored by altplayground.net, the swinger site that doesn't do the status quo. Oh, I've been telling you about Alt Playground. I've been telling you about APG for weeks, people, and you gotta come on over and check it out. This is the place you are going to want to be to start your next non-monogamous adventure. Or at least whenever non-monogamous adventures are no longer a potential death sentence to grandpa. APG's got everything you need and could possibly want. Seriously, there's a lot of features here. Any feature you've wanted on a lifestyle site is there, okay? Yeah, profile pictures are fun, but profile videos are even better. And they are now an option on APG, which I didn't know until right now as I read the ad copy. And now I kind of want to like insert my dick wiggle video as my profile video. We'll see. They've got new features launching all the time, including communities, forums, and hey, one day, conferences, and even more to come. Alt Playground is the swinger site you've been waiting for, so come join us today. Join me today at altplayground.net. That's alt, playground.net. Now let's get to the show.
You need to check me. Are my mic levels great?
Yes.
Am I sounding professional?
Yes, you're picking up right there.
Awesome. I feel like I should have put on a wig or something so I could have it like a persona, but you're just going to get me, which I don't know what the fuck that is this morning. So, yay!
I'm looking forward to finding out what you is.
I don't know. I don't know. It depends on the day of the week.
I got a taste for it over the phone.
Well, I mean, like, we can always start from there because, well, I just find myself in those situations. It's called life.
Talking on the phone with strangers from Reddit?
Well, yeah, because I felt like that was what I wanted to do that day. I woke up that morning and I was like, you know what? What are you going to do with your life today, Kit Williams? And I was like, I think I'm going to go to Reddit, get myself an anonymous profile, and just go out searching for men or women, whatever. That was easy.
I'm searching for a tongue today. That's
pretty much, because just like I knew I definitely didn't want. Well, I mean, it's not that I didn't want penis. It's just I didn't want to have to deal with penis. Mm-hmm. I just needed to get off. And I could do that by myself, but I'm like, why? Because I enjoy people. And it gave me something to do, and I could work on my new material. It's really hard now. It's like...
Wait, you were going to work on your new material while I was down there? Was that what you mean? Or
No. Like, I am a professional. I work it in the conversation. You don't work it in while you're doing the work. That's not nice, I mean, unless you're like doing the ABCs or doing something kind of cool. And, if that's the trick, then that's the trick. But
I don't think that's a helpful tip. It's actually feels like more work to try to trace all those letters than to just do whatever it was I was doing naturally.
Yeah, but... Did you ask the person? I mean, did they say that it didn't work or it did work? Like, I personally don't know.
I just know that, like, it's a strain on my tongue to do all those letters. So, like, doing all those movements, that can wear a tongue out. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'd rather do the motions within my range. I feel more natural. Like, I don't need to spell out your name on your clit to like hit your clit.
You know what? See, I wish your listeners could see my face right now because I'm
It's
like
mildly disapproving.
Oh, it's so disapproving because I'm like this. No, you need to make some letters. I want to know if that works. Like, I don't know for a fact if it works, but if it does, I mean, that's a trick that, you know, like I've heard about it. That's something you could say, you know what? Have you ever heard about this? Let's try it out. What do you think? You need to give options because you never know. That might just change the whole game.
Well, you know, one that changed my game a little bit was a small tip I got from a Miss Nina Hartley. Are you familiar?
Yes, I love it.
Now I wish y'all could see her face because her face lit up in the exact opposite from the thing I said.
It really did. It really did. I'm like, I'm happy. I'm giddy. I'm like, yay.
Nina Hartley, 2-time guest of the show, made out with me on air. The highlight of my life. No, but so she has the tip where she'll say, like, putting your fingers on either side of the clit and like almost jerking it off without actually touching it. Because by doing this, you're like moving the hood back and forth over it without actually touching it. I was like, we got a new move. We have a new trick.
See, and you could take that out into the world, and I bet you've taken it out, and like people are like, yes. They get excited.
Yeah, no, it's a nice thing to change things up. But the alphabet just seems like a very elementary way to teach someone how to eat pussy.
Elementary it may be, but some people need that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, like, I've gotten to this point where in my life where I've started to go, like, I'm become a cougar, I guess. I don't even know how that happened. Like,
dare I
my
say
business.
Black Panther?
Yes, because I'm smooth like that. I like that. Wakanda forever. Yes. And there is a definite difference between 21 to 28, which I do not fuck with in general. Mm-hmm. But those are the boys. And I say boys, and I just, you know, please forgive me if that falls to be you, but I'm old enough to be your mama. I don't need that in my life. I mean, some of me, I'm old enough to be your teen mom, but still, I do not need that. And it's just like, and I had a couple of virgins come to me, and I'm like, what am I going to do with you?
In response to the Reddit ad?
Yes.
Okay, well.
And I'm like this, no, you can't eat my pussy. You can't even pull up the dick. No. And it got me upset. It got my pressure up. It got me mad. I was like, I'm not going to even answer any more damn ass. I'm just pissed off.
Oh.
It really did. It got me hot.
Poor kid.
Oh my gosh. I was so angry.
Well, it's a good time to say I'm chatting right now with fellow comedian and Reddit poster Kit Williams.
Hey, how you doing?
Not to be confused with the one vowel away Cat Williams.
Yeah.
Kit Williams. It is a good thing we didn't go through with the me going down anything because I woke up this morning and like the cold sore is just starting to come in. And I'm like, okay, well, that's putting me out of commission for a couple weeks.
My face just dropped again because I swear to God, 45 years old, my doctor was so ecstatic with me last year when I went to get like my yearly. Okay. And because I am the only patient he has ever had who's never even had not one STD, one STI. I've not even had HPV.
It still counts.
It still counts. It still counts.
When 80% of the country's got herpes,
that's 80%.
Does it count? Then does it?
Guess,
is it
I'm
even
better than 80%, and that's all that matters is me being better. I'm just letting you know. I am like the second coming.
You're going to be in the minority on this one. Where
you know what? I'm used to that. So let me that is my cross to bear. Uh-huh. Me and Jesus will do that.
Well, it looks
I mean, is that wrong for me to just put Jesus in that? I felt like
bring Jesus wherever you want. I'm not here to tell you, who to fantasize about or not.
Oh, good, because sometimes I do. I'm not playing. I'm serious sometimes because it's the hair, I think.
Well, now, but like when you picture sexy Jesus, is it like typical like sexy hippie white Jesus, or do you picture black Jesus? Which is the one I imagine was the real one.
I pick a brownish Jesus, not really a black Jesus, but
like a Rami Youssef level.
Yeah, when he got super hot. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, you can get it, Daddy. Yeah, like, and I guess I could call Jesus Daddy because he is the Father and the Son.
So I'm like,
oh my gosh, it's really funny as I've been thinking about it because like now
God really is just
age.
the biggest daddy issue.
He really is.
The universal daddy issue is God.
He is the big daddy of them all. And I was just like, yeah, because like I like that. I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm sitting here thinking nasty thoughts about my Lord and Savior. Have mercy.
Well, you're definitely not the first and you won't be the last.
I know, so I don't feel so bad. And I feel like if they're dirty enough, Jesus would be like, I'm gonna let you slide, and I'm going straight to heaven. He's gonna like this. Oh yeah, you getting in?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they have parties up there.
Well, we connected because I respond to a Reddit ad you had that like definitely stood out to me, and then we talked on the phone, and then you had a change of heart about your original post. Do you want to share people like what the post you made was, and then we could talk a bit about like why you changed your mind? Because I think I answered your ad like maybe 4 or 5 days after you posted it, so there was some time for you to, I guess, think on it.
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't want to share with y'all, but since he brought it up, I'm not going to like run from it. I was feeling, you know what, this COVID thing kind of just put me in a situation where like I was in my house since March 15th. And as the time had gone on, like, I'd went out and I bought all the things and all the vibes and
All the toys?
all the toys.
Any particular faves?
Oh my gosh, I got one called the Womanizer.
Oh, yes. Welcome to that club.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, we had a little bit of a situation. The Womanizers, they dropped it off downstairs. It came in at 10:55. I was in the bathroom. I went downstairs at 11:07. It was gone.
Someone stole your sex
Let me tell you something. I damn near set this fucking place on fire. Like, literally, I waited up for 2 nights in a row. Then I went downstairs. They used to keep all the what are those things called? Strollers downstairs. I would take the strollers in the middle of the night and take them and stick them on top of the roof. Now I'm talking about it. I don't care.
Wait, why would you do that?
Because somebody in this building did it.
Okay.
And they had been taking packages. And then once my vibrator was gone, I lost my mind.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I did that. And the super got them the next day and brought them back down. But, because,
Yeah, New Yorker, for those who don't live out here, like getting packages stolen from your building is just like a notorious New York thing, which seems like way more tragic because they think they're stealing like a camera, a phone. They think they're stealing something of importance.
It was important. Well, yeah, it's important to me.
Yeah, but I don't know that that's like the type of importance they were looking for.
Well, I doubt it, but you know what? I bet you they enjoyed this shit.
Any duds?
Yeah, there was like this little, but you know what? It came with, because they sent me another Womanizer, and then they sent me the dud with it. It was just like one of those little pocket rocket things. Those are such a waste of time because I don't even know a pocket where that feels good. Because it's just like, it's not even a vibration as more as it's just like some sort of right on. I'm just like, come on, I need you to do better. Or as Milani says, I need you to be best. I mean, I need this, and I needed it.
Yeah.
And
so you got a bunch of toys came in to help you handle yourself for COVID.
I tried. I really tried. And I found that the best thing for me to do at that point was forget about masturbation and start writing. So I just wrote and filmed stuff and just did that. And that was fine for about a month or two. And then I got extremely horny because it's like, my pussy was sad. It was lonely. It was just like, what are we going to do? I'm like, I don't know. And I would start crying and it would start crying and we would just cry together. And, and I got tired. I'm not a big app person, and I'm also not really looking. Well, at the time, I definitely wasn't looking to date. And I definitely wasn't looking to COVID date. I really wish I would have COVID bait up. That's the one thing.
Like before,
like if I would have just had somebody in the pocket, because I've heard about COVID. Like when I started hearing about it back in December, I should have started being prepared.
We all should have.
That's like I was just not the fucking squirrel. I was not trying to get my nut, if you think about it. Because when I heard about it, I should have been like this. You know what? I should start saving up dick. But the problem was, I was fucking this guy.
There's a separate savings account for the dick.
There is, but now I know what happened with that is that I was screwing around the street down the corner, and that's what I call him because I don't want to even. I refuse to use his name now. And that's where he was. He lived down the street around the corner.
Okay.
And so we had been doing that from pretty much November to March when he left. Then we got into a little bit of a situation because I'm like on a gazillion sketch teams, and I'm also have a trillion different jobs. I'm a freelancer, and I was going from place to place. And on the 15th was a Sunday. I wasn't feeling well. I left work The 16th, I get a phone call. One of the people in one of my sketches, who he played my dog. And when I say he was my dog, I loved my dog. So I would let my dog lick my face, and I would lick his face, and I'd
You
lick
had a
his
lot
tongue.
of contact.
Oh my
as the
God,
tracers
way
would
too
say.
much contact. And he came down with COVID. And then two of my coworkers, one that I actually sat next to forever, both got COVID. He actually died.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So he died. Like, I found this out
I
on
hope
March
this wasn't
16th.
your work flirt. That would.
Huh?
I hope this wasn't
Oh
your
no,
work
no, no,
flirt.
no. He was old enough to be my daddy's daddy. It's like,
Hey,
you know,
I'm not here to judge like what ages you're into.
No. Because I don't. I mean, you know, I agree with everything. I'll try anything once, pretty much. So, you know, but nothing way young and nothing way old.
Mm-hmm.
But so everybody getting sick. So I was very fortunate in a way, because like that was on the 16th. Down the street, around the corner, was planning on to go home. And his issue that he was going to go home and see his family. So he was pissed off at me because he's like this, I've been social distancing and now I've gotten sick, or you could be sick. And I'm like this. First of all, I don't run around just like this. Oh, do you got some COVID? Can I get some of that? No. And I definitely didn't go around, hey, can I get some of that COVID? And hey, by the way, let me pick up that COVID. Hey, I know you're going to go see your old ass mama who lives in Florida in COVID capital, FYI. But here, let me give you some pussy before you go. No, that's not who I am. So anyway, so I'm dealing with that, dealing with the state of New York, trying to get a test. Finally, I just messaged my doctor on my chart, said, hey, this is what's going on. My doctor was like this, oh no, sis, we are not having that. We are getting you in for a test. And I was like I was very fortunate, because it was so hard to get tests like the very next week.
Right.
But that week they had so many that they were giving to hospitals as well. So he had he had the approval. So that was on a Monday afternoon. I had my test Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock. And they called me by 10 p.m. that night. And I did not have COVID. So, like, I was so lucky. So then I let the down the street, around the corner know. He was like, great. I was like, great. Fuck you.
That feels like a really long name to have him in on your phone. Down the street, around the corner.
No, I just put AMS. Like, that way I knew he lives on Amsterdam. like that. Like, but, you know, I mean, I have to keep it all in my mind where it works out. And saying down the street, around the corner is such, like, it just rolls off the tongue now. It's just like one name.
I mean, it sounds smooth. It sounds like a very cool way to call like a fuck buddy, but also I'm like, man, there's a lot of characters.
Yeah. I'm not trying to put that many shits in my phone, because, like,
Okay.
hey, I can get carpal tunnel. My hand starts to hurt. You know, I get cramps. And it's not worth all that. I mean, it was good dick, but it wasn't worth all that. Like, there's very seldom I've
And
seen.
you didn't have anybody else like on the roster at the time?
No, that's the thing. So, and this is my thing, and this is where I keep fucking up. Because I'm from Oklahoma, and I'm very, very I'm very sex positive. I'm very sexual, but I'm also very conservative in my sex. Like, if I'm fucking one person, even if it's just a fuck buddy, 9 chances out of, no, always, I'm usually just fucking that fuck buddy. If I only say usually just, because if I'm not, or if I'm fucking somebody else, is because I'm getting ready to get rid of that fuck buddy, and the new person is going into.
You're preferably a one person at a time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just wasn't prepared. And then, you know, and at the time, he was only going to go to Florida for a couple of weeks, which I'm not even sure if he's dead or alive now. Like, I've sent a couple of texts. He hasn't returned them. So I'm like, this, ooh. And he's in Florida. So I'm like, oh.
In these days, you don't know.
Exactly.
Is he ghosting or did he die of COVID?
And not to be funny, but I mean, that really could have happened.
Really could have happened. And like potentially still kind of funny.
I know, right? Because I'm okay with, I mean, yeah, I am okay with it. I can't even say that I'm not. I mean, because it's not my fault if he is or it isn't, because I didn't give it to him.
Oh.
He probably got it from his mama. Well,
So down the street, around the corner, like was the guy, but then you were ditching this guy and had no backup or replacement.
No, I wasn't ditching him. He ditched me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, because like, you know, he got upset about the whole COVID thing, and then he went to go visit his mom, and then he's never came back. So, and then that was like March. By then, COVID hit. COVID is scarier than AIDS. Nobody's fucking with COVID. Like in March and April, I couldn't even go outside.
You know what's crazy to me is like I had a dude who's like, listener of the show, he texted me that like he might do some swinger parties in his region of the country. I was like, like, you know, please don't. And he was like, nah, man, like and he's older, so he's like, no, we go hard. This is like nothing compared to AIDS. Hey, we survived the AIDS crisis. I was like, when you're like a heterosexual man, like it's very likely you've survived AIDS crisis. And then also like, dude, what the fuck? Like, please don't be doing all of that. There are people who like legit think that this isn't that big of a deal still, and I'm like, it's killing me. While at the same time, like where we are, I do think we can reasonably slowly reopen our legs person by person, case by case.
Exactly. But it's very, very, you know, person by person, case by case. You got to like, hey, who you know, what you've been doing. And, you know, like, especially with me, like in the younger guys, like another one up the street, down up there.
Up the street, down up there. That's that one's name.
Yeah, because he's up. he really
down the street, around the corner. There's up the street, down around there.
Like everybody got a name, and actually, like his real name is 28 because
I have a friend Anna who also like nicknamed everyone. I didn't have a nickname, which I'm hurt by.
Yeah, you did.
Like,
she just didn't tell you. Yes, you did.
Okay, Anna, when you hear this, can you let me know what my nickname was? She had all these different ones. Like she had the twins, she had Baby Jew, she had all.
Oh yeah, you definitely had a name. I guarantee you did.
Unfortunately, my name was probably like Podcast Guy, which is sad. That's a sad fuck name.
It is, but you know what, Anna? If you don't even want to tell him the truth, you can send me a message. I am kitwilliams@gmail.com. Just email me that, girl, because I already know you got a name. I know you do. I know this.
So down the street around the corner, he was the last sex you had?
Yes.
And that was like when?
March. I can give you the exact date.
Isn't that crazy? We can all go find the exact, because I know the exact date. I know it was March 14th in Grand Rapids, Michigan, because I was at the Laugh Fest festival, and you hook up with a local from there. But then I'm like, that's the day. The day I left was the last day I had sex was the day I left to start quarantining.
See, that just it was March 16th. It was a lovely, lovely Monday morning.
Cue the stringed score behind as you describe.
Yes, because he called about 7 a.m. and he said, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm waiting for you. Came over, smoked a bowl, ate the puss, sucked the dick, fucked like bunnies. It was a good day.
It was a good day.
It was. I was full of joy. And he left at 11:48. I'll never forget it. The reason I know it was 11:48 because I got the email from my first sketch partner at 12:13, and from 12:13 to 1 o'clock, I spent all that time. I called in the state of New York, finding out about the other guy because like my job called at that point. Found out about him, and trying to make an appointment. So by 1 o'clock, I knew everything that I needed to know. So I call him up, and I'm like, hey, we didn't talk on the phone. Like we would text, we would fuck. But we didn't ever pick up a phone and say, hey, how you doing?
We're not having a chat.
So when I called, I didn't even know if he's going to pick up the phone. Because you know when you're like this, we don't call. We don't do that.
It's like it's only bad news when you call.
Exactly. And, but he actually, poor bless his little heart, he answered the phone so hopeful. Like he thought it was going to be good news. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You should have known better.
He thought you were going to be like, I'm outside. Take your dick out.
Exactly. And I was like, he's like, well, how long have you known? When did you know? And I'm just, I literally just found out. I was like, you left at 11:48. I sent him a copy of the email. I mean, it was just like some bullshit.
So what finally brought you to Reddit? Have you hooked up with people on Reddit before?
No. Actually, I joined Reddit, and this is why even all my shit is correct on there. Because, I'll lie about my age in a heartbeat. I'm an actor. I don't give a fuck. But I joined it for the keto and the fasting.
I saw that. I noticed.
Yeah. So what the hell, Jess?
When I was responding to your ad, at the very beginning of it, the first thing's a comment on our keto, and it was like, oh, I've done that too. I know the pain. I got you.
See? So yeah.
And then after that, it's who wants to eat my pussy?
Well, because I was a lurker for there because I've been on Reddit for over a year, and so and I was just a lurker, and I'd go find out some stuff, and actually it's kind of funny. I started doing keto about almost 2 years ago. And I say almost 2 years because COVID kind of messed up my brain where I don't know when time ends and begins anymore. And I went to Thailand and I stayed at I've been going since 2016 to Lamai Muay Thai. It's a Muay Thai camp. And I stay on the boxers camp, and I stay in a little bitty old crappy room with hard ass bed. I get up box twice a day. and run with the fighters and everything like that. So I say all that to say, you know what? First of all, I forgot where I was going with that. This is what
we were
happens
finding out like
sometimes.
how'd you end up? You were starved for sex. Down the street around the corner is gone. There's been no sex then. The toys only go so far. So you end up on Random Acts of Muff Dive.
Oh yeah. So but how I got there was
Yeah.
because of the keto, and the keto.
Well, everyone who's on our keto obviously also posts on Random Acts of Muff Dive.
Well, I thought so. I mean, I noticed a lot of those people like Keto Betty right there saying, "Eat my muff." Yeah.
Yeah? Keto Betty?
Keto Betty. I couldn't believe
I
it.
hope that's a real user.
Oh my God, I was so proud of her. She's lost 172 pounds, bless her heart.
What better way to celebrate?
Exactly. I thought so too. I mean, you know, she's a big bitch though.
Get them calories.
Yeah. She's like this, eat it all. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of cheesecake down there, Betty. Go. I know. Like, if you're going to go there, I'm going to go like, right about like, oh, here I go. Here we go.
Well, why don't you tell us a bit about like the particular post you made? Because you didn't just simply say, "Hey, someone come eat my box." Like,
Actually, I did. The first
Okay.
one did. That was because the one that you're talking about, because like the first one, when you go out and you go fishing, you're like this, I'm just going to take my little bitty rod and hook it. If you have never been fishing, then you'll never understand it. I'm from Oklahoma. It's what we do sometimes. At least that's what my Aunt May made me do. And you go fishing, you take your little rod out, you just get a little worm, you just kind of hope for the best. Then you get a bite, you're like, that was delicious. All right, let me go get me a big ass fish. And then you're like this, well, I'm gonna get the biggest fish out, then I want to get the fish that I want. So it's kind of like you start to manifest a fish. And instead of just going like, it's like going to McDonald's and getting that crappy ass fish sandwich, you're like, no, fuck it. I'm going straight to like, I don't know, Ocean's 11, and just getting all the like the crunchy, this chocolate, just yummiest shit you can find. And you just like this, okay, so now I'm just a blackfish living in my blackfish world, and I want me a whitefish. And so, but I want this whitefish to kind of, talk dirty to me, call me like, you dirty, nasty, fishy bitch. I just wanted to say the nastiest things that actually, and a couple of really, really vile things. And for me, people started asking me about CNC. And I was like, well, what the hell is that? I was like, CNC Music Factory? Because, hey, I'm old. And this is Reddit. And the kids, they'll be talking languages I don't understand. I mean, I finally got YOLO. And now I'm just like this, fuck it. 2020 to me is YOLO. Because, I mean, fuck you. Like, you only live once. Like, 2020 is the ultimate YOLO. And so I was like, fuck it, 2020, I'm going to try this CNC shit, which is consent, non-consent. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a lesson that we learned that day. But it was a good conversation that was had. Because when I originally placed the ad, I was looking for a female. Mm-hmm. And from going from a female, I went back to men because honestly, bitches be tripping.
what? Wait, on Reddit?
Yeah.
Do tell.
Yeah, like it's just bullshit. Like I'm just like, man, yeah, women be on some real bullshit. And I'm just like, I can go get a guy any damn day of the week and a good looking motherfucker. I don't need this kind of pressure from your mediocre ass. And I'm just like, you know what, Karen, I ain't got time for this shit. And I say Karen because you know what? Sometimes I go for like if I'm looking for a girl, I get that white pussy. I just like it. I just do. I can't help it.
I mean, look, it's a tough time to be named Karen these days.
You know what though? Yes, it is.
But so what kind? But what's like like what does that look like? Like you're saying you're having more difficulty like finding women on Reddit. So like when you say like it's a hassle, but what does that like look like?
Oh, a hassle is like A, to get anybody to respond and to keep a conversation going, or B, they're really young. And I have a thing like this. If you're going to come to me and tell me you're 21 or 22 or 23, either you're going to be 4 or 5 years older, which I'm like, okay, at least I can handle that, or you're going to be younger. And I got one time to have somebody's pussy in my mouth or vice versa. And then next thing you know, it's the cops. Excuse me. You know she's 17. I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus, I didn't know. Because kids today, you can't tell.
Just to let you know, the age of consent in the state of New York is 16. So you are in the clear.
Yeah, but you know what? I may be in the clear in the eyes of the law, but in the eyes of the kid.
I mean, in the eyes of myself, look, I'm not into, the teeny bopper thing either. I just want to assuage your fears and concerns. Although I do think it is concerning when like a guy knows like the age of consent laws in a bunch of states. Like I think you're allowed to know like your state you're in,
Yeah.
and like one other. And if you know more than that, there's a problem.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to go yes. I'm definitely gonna have to go yes. And like for the fact that you could even acknowledge that and bring that up, I'm not gonna worry about you.
Oh gosh, bless your heart.
Thank you very much. Mhm.
So you're saying like it's just a bit of a hassle trying to pick
No,
up
it's
women
not
on
a
the
bit of a
Reddit.
hassle. It's a
Yeah.
fucking
Okay.
nightmare. It's a fucking goddamn nightmare because like,
So young ones, are they like unsure about even meeting up? And
no, they're just trying to like either they're full of bullshit or they're playing games or they're boys or boys or men, whatever. And then like there was this one chick who I did meet and she was like really cool. She was like we were close in age, everything's great. But you know, in like our first conversation, and we like did a whole FaceTime thing because that's the first thing. I'm like, nah, bitch, we got to FaceTime because there's no like talk, chat, and then next thing you know, it's like somebody's husband going like this. Well, I was really looking for a threesome for me and my wife. She's totally on board. Da, da, da.
I swear.
Exactly. I'm like this, and you ain't got damn lie.
Yeah.
So we did chat, and everything was great. And now looking back, because then the next time I was talking to her, and it was a random phone call, like we hadn't planned on it, but it just worked out that way. She was giggling a lot, and it was this annoying ass giggle. And I'm like, was that bitch on medication before? Is she on medication now?
It's like,
Is
what
she
did I say that
crazy?
was so funny? Like,
But it wasn't even that. It was just like she's like headphone.
no, I mean, like, it's like, as in, like, I didn't say anything funny. You should be laughing so hard right now. Like, talk
yeah,
to me
it
like an
was-
adult.
Like I'll never ever understand it. I just knew I was like this. Oh, dodge that bullet.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just like, and then some of the other women, they were just like, how do I say this? Beneath me. I'm just sorry. I'm not meaning to be mean, but I'm like, no, bitch. No, we don't do that.
All right.
I'm better than that.
So you get tired of trying to get the women on the Reddit post, and then you end up with this random acts of Muffdive post
And get men,
that like I responded to.
which was for race play.
Yeah.
Because,
Something I've never done.
Well, neither had I. Neither have I actually. I'm like, had I? Like, and it, like I said, it was a big major turn on for me. And I think, I'm going to blame Broadway because I went before this whole like COVID and everything went down. I've seen I saw Slave Play.
Slave Play, yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, how good.
And that's why I'm telling you, that's why I started thinking about it. And I was like, oh, okay. And then it's just something about like looking at like the skin, like not contradictions, but the contrast of the skin, and just something about like, oh yeah, fuck me, daddy.
This milky goodness.
Yeah, against my caramel shit, that shit looked delicious. It looked like a swirly cup of something from Starbucks, and caramel and latte is delicious. I love caramel. I love latte. I love it all. Shit. So I was just like, and then I started thinking about like, how hot would it be to have fucked my master? And I'm like, oh God, I said it, I did it, I thought it. But oddly enough, these thoughts are not unrealistic and are not, they're not strange or weird.
They're not uncommon.
Thank you. That was what I was looking for. And I also feel like that maybe a lot of these thoughts came up for me this is how fucked up it is. It's like even the stuff with George Floyd and all of the change. It's just like, if I could at least play that sex game, that's a way for me to take back my power in a way. And so like, I feel like on that level, if I can play the game, and I know it's a game, it's a way for me to get over it. And once I really started thinking about it, and I went to my shrink about it. My shrink is just this lovely, like 50-year-old Jewish white chick, and then we talk about everything. I've had her for like 7 years. I think everybody needs a good therapist. And I started with her when my father passed, and I've always kept her along because she's the one who actually gets me. And we were talking about it, and I was thinking that was the reason I needed that. It was a power thing. And I have a lot of power issues, and I have a lot of power sex games I want to play. Now I finally decided that it's probably going to be easier and better for me to get a single partner and just like, okay, here's our list. This is what we're doing. If we can make it through this list and I still want to fuck with you afterwards, we can think about having a relationship. But we got to get through this list first.
So you would be down to do race play potentially in the future with like a more consistent, steady partner.
Yeah.
Who's like worked, and y'all have worked your way up to that.
Exactly.
And not necessarily a stranger from Reddit on your first time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Because on the
through.
phone, you like clearly had like gone through a change of heart where like when you said, I don't know about that anymore, my instant thought was, fuck, how bad were the responses you got to your ad? And you said it wasn't even about that. It wasn't like you said you didn't get a bunch of shitty messages in reply.
No, it wasn't about that at all. Like I said, for me, it was a realization of why I wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I figure for that level, to do that with a stranger as well, it wouldn't have been a comfort thing, like, or it would have had to be like, it had to happen and you need to get out. Like, right. Like there is no.
That person needs to be dehumanized as much and almost objectified just so that like the object can be controlled. Just like you can turn on and off that vibrator, you can kick him out as soon as he's done his job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then that really doesn't address the issue. That just perpetuates the actual problem. And that was what was started. Like, to actually address the issue, there would have to be like aftercare, and there would have to be, and so to have that again with a stranger is just not.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's possible to like get that, but it's just more difficult to find the quality of it.
Exactly.
Like I know that like if I'm gonna do something like that, like I know unless they tell me I want you to fuck out afterwards, like I know we're gonna be taken care of afterwards. I know we're gonna remind both them and myself that like I'm not a racist.
Yeah.
Because hey, like having to come down from like being the top is also dom space is a thing, and you have to after you beat the shit out of someone like. Even if it's not your partner, you need to be kind of comforted by somebody to remind you that you're not this horrible, abusive person.
Yes.
You were in a scene.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but finding that level of comfort, and especially on Reddit. I don't know those people.
Yeah. Reddit's not particularly known for being like great and anti-racist and whatnot. It's not like the reputation of the website.
Yeah, Reddit and TikTok.
But like, yeah, I mean, what kind of replies did you get? But obviously, besides my stellar one that earned me a phone call during therapy.
Oh, yeah, because it was impressive.
I was in group therapy over Zoom, and I get the call, and I just ignore it because it's an unknown number, and then I see the thing pop up, the message on my screen from Reddit, be like, okay. So much for spontaneity. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm in therapy right now. But thank you.
And I was like, go. I mean, I was like, I appreciated the honesty. And I was like, hey, my therapy's tomorrow.
Hey, if I wasn't being honest, you would have thought I was full of shit and then written me off, and we wouldn't have gotten to have the phone call. And then I probably wouldn't be here today. No. I know. I just also, because flakes are so common on Reddit, you want to, I'm just a believer of be transparent, be honest, because there's so much bullshit. People's radars are on so much blast that if you can just be sincere, it will make you smooth sailing through the process. In my experience, at least, of Muffdiving on Reddit.
No, and that's true. Like a lot of the responses were very, very kind, and a lot of them just want to try,
right?
But.
I think that's what mine was too. Is like, hey, I've done a lot of things, haven't done this one, willing to try, lead the way a little bit.
Yeah, and that was just, and it was one of those things that I was like, okay. And the one that actually was a real response where the person seemed to have a little bit too much knowledge. Made me a little uncomfortable.
A few too many slurs for this role play.
I'm like, I feel like you actually created the words. I'm sorry, sir. But I was very specific in the age range. I think it was 27 to 33 or something like that. And this fucker was 54. And I'm like, well, definitely white man, middle-aged white man. He definitely knows how to use those slurs. But I'm like this, why would you even respond to my ad? And it's just and that was annoying to me because the reason I chose that age as well is it's a stamina thing. It's a comfortability thing for me. And it was just I also feel like there's still a little bit of a disconnect of that era, so they don't really get it. It is more of a game with them. Versus a 54-year-old man. I'm like this. You're old enough to have been playing this game long enough. You know the difference.
You're old enough. You were saying this stuff not in a role play scene a few decades ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's gonna be a little too real from you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so but then I just got to a point to where, from dealing with the kids, dealing with people like this, but it drove me insane. But the one thing I did learn, and I think it was you, who taught me this. What was the other little kid? And no, it wasn't you. I'm sorry.
I was about to warn you about giving me too much of a compliment because
No.
they will go straight to the heads.
And it wasn't anybody on Reddit. It was my friend. He came over for dinner the other day, my little gay friend Jason. And the advice he gave me, though, I never understood, and now I can ask you if it's true, because this just now came to me, is that up the street around the corner up there. I was showing him his picture.
But you gotta write like a Who's on First sketch one day that just does that, please. Fuck, that sounds so fun. Please continue.
So, we were talking about him, and his penis is the most beautiful motherfucking penis I have ever seen. Now, the first pretty penis I've ever seen.
She has not seen my penis yet.
You know what? That's true. That is true. But I'm going to tell you the truth. Swear to God. First penis I ever saw was in high school. Well, it wasn't the first one I ever saw, but the one that it was the prettiest penis up until then. So from Tulsa Hale, 1994, this penis had held on to that memory of being the prettiest penis
held
I
on
ever
to that
saw.
top spot, long time.
Yeah, since 1994. That was your sophomores or maybe freshman. No, sophomore and junior year.
Like a Chicago Bulls length dynasty.
Oh my God, it was beautiful, and it belonged to Steven. I'm not gonna say his last name, but Lord Jesus,
Steven's pretty penis.
oh my God, it was beautiful, and it was the first white boy penis I ever saw too. And it was so funny because my best friend Gina, oh God damn, we still talked every day or every Sunday. And we're going to probably talk about this week, as a matter of fact. Because, like, she was like, oh my gosh, Kit, you ought to see this. And I'll never forget it. And I was like, what? And she's like, come back here. And we were in the band room. I go in the back room.
Take it out.
Yeah.
No, show her.
Yeah. And that's exactly how it happened. And I was like,
okay.
and it was, and over the years that we were in high school, I would ask to see it every so often because it really was. It was just beautiful, and I never even touched it or sucked it. I just looked at it because it was just so pretty, and yeah. So anyway, I like that. That was like the gold standard of all dicks, and until up street up down our corner, and oh my God!
Now, what
This
makes
fucker.
a penis pretty to you? What elements are involved?
You know what? You just know. You just feel it.
Yeah.
And I just felt it. Like, I hadn't felt this way about a penis since the 90s. I mean, I've seen a lot of nice looking penises, some sturdy penises, some long penises, short penises, stocky penises, but not a pretty, beautiful penis. You know, like, just something to make you want to go like, that's beautiful. And it's just like artwork. It's like David and shit.
It's just weird. It's just a weird word choice for the compliment, because like my penis is not anything spectacular, but my penis has been called pretty on multiple occasions by different people over the last decade, and it's it just feels like this almost like a emasculating word.
Oh no.
For my cock. Like,
No, because women, see, that's the difference. You think it's emasculating because you're a man, but as a woman, like, pretty sometimes is better than beautiful.
I mean, I lean into pretty now because like now, like I'm not trying to be handsome. I want to feel pretty. Like that's my
feel
vibe
you.
these
I feel
days.
you.
But I remember the first time someone called my penis pretty, I was like, does that mean, are you trying to
No,
call it
that-
cute? Are you trying to call it small? Are you trying to call it, what are you trying to call it here? What are you
Pretty.
trying to say?
You say pretty
What
to
you
another
trying
bitch. A bitch is like this. Oh, he got a pretty penis? Let me see that shit. Because, you know, like, I hate dick pics. I truly hate dick pics.
Now,
If
do you
send
hate
me-
dick pics, or do you hate how most men take most dick pics? Because like is it like do you not like dick pics, or do you just not like the way people are taking them?
You know what? I think it must be the way
Do
because
you mean better artistry
28.
up the street around the corner?
Yo, he did some shit. Cause like I responded to his ad on Reddit, and he had seen mine, but he's one of those types. Cause we talked about, he's like, yeah, I didn't want to respond to yours. I always feel like I don't want to put myself out there, but if like somebody really wants me, they'll come through. And so like I went to his ad, and I was like, oh yeah, I like this, I can hear this. And it said I had pictures in there, so I'm like, let me see these pictures. This motherfucker did a strip tease. I mean, like 56 pictures. I'm like, God damn. And then he got one with some whiskey. I'm like, oh shit, Ginger. Yes. And when you make me call Jesus and then cuss him out at the same time and not give a fuck that I just cussed out the Lord, you got a pretty ass motherfucking penis. And I'll suck it all damn day. I love a good looking penis. No, I don't need no hair. I don't need no hair getting in my teeth. I need all that. I just need something like, I need to see that girth. I need to see that width. I need to see balls dropping. And he brought that to the table. So what am I supposed to do? Turn that down?
No, I don't you dare.
I will not.
So like this when you were making the post, like what sort of scene, like you thinking, okay, this would be hot, this would be a way to reclaim control and all that. Did you have like a reel in your head of like what that was gonna look like, or like was it slave play or was it something else? Like what?
You know I did. I'm a fucking artist.
I know. I'm a fucking interviewer. Like I'm setting you up so you can slam dunk it.
Oh yeah, because you know I got this. Because like this, I had a fucking mini series in my mind. I had a BBC special. I had it going like, like a Sex and the City HBO type thing and then becoming a movie type shit. I had different scenarios. I had my old timey scenario, which is our basic, Mazza, oh, please don't beat me type shit. Yeah. But then I had my newfangled version, which I was the because like
tell me what I'm missing out
on. I'm getting there. I'm making a story. I'm building. Oh my gosh! Thank you all for keeping up with me because he's being extra. So needy. So my whole idea was, I have been your housekeeper since you were like, a little boy, like 5. And I've taken care of your family and I'm taking care of you. And you just, you've always loved good old Serafina. You did.
Did you used to make me Eggo waffles with peanut butter and syrup every morning?
Oh my God, whatever you wanted. But they would not be Eggo. They would be from scratch because we did not fuck around. Okay. Yes, because my baby needed to have good meals. Yes, she did. And so the thing is that your parents have now gone out of town. Now you're now 26. You don't even live in the house. But mom and dad are out of town, and Serafina's over there. And you also know that she's by herself, but she cleans up on a Sunday. On a Saturday is actually the day that I had planned. And on Saturday, and she knows nobody's going to be there, she's going to be wearing those skimpy-ass shorts. And I got some skimpy-ass shorts and these little high-knee, hot pink socks. And I was going to be in the kitchen on my hands and knees, scrubbing like with my ass out to the back. You come in and watch that ass moving for a little bit. And then all of a sudden you come up to me like this and you like touch me. I'm like this, no, you're like a son to me. We can't do this. And you're like, I don't care, Serafina. I want you. I've always wanted you. No, it's not right. No, I love everything about you. And I just need that. I just need that fucking black nigger pussy. And I'm like this, and I was like, I said that and I want that.
I'm uncomfortable that I have a half chub from that.
See? But then, nobody wanted to either go there or they could do it or.
So I think I'd be down to go there. I just wanted to like really make sure we laid out, like we would have laid out guidelines.
Oh, you have to.
Right. Like, but like not just like, I want you to like throw some slurs out. Like, I'd be like, I kind of want to know like which ones.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's like tiers of slurs, and like there's like the big one and then there's like really fucking bad ones and there's pretty bad ones. Then there are ones that we don't even know were slurs. You ever see Clerks 2?
No, but I just moved to New York from Oklahoma and I learned so much stuff when I got here. Like I never knew that. I won't even tell you the slurs that I learned when I moved here because I was just like, I didn't even know what that meant. And I heard it at work. That's what killed me. No, I'm going to talk about it because I actually worked for a real fucking grown ass company. And this was the sales team guys. And they were getting ready to go to lunch. And I'll never forget it. One guy goes over to the grubs guys and like, hey, you want to go gook out? And I'm like, what? He's like, chink out. I'm like,
which are separate things. Why do races like at least to keep those are separate countries?
Are they? I didn't even know. See, I didn't even know that.
Well, chink is for
Chinese,
people.
but gook is in it Vietnamese.
I think it's either it's Vietnamese. I mean that came out of Vietnam.
He was
War.
using it as Chinese though.
Right,
he was talking about Chinese.
Like
food.
the ignorance on top of ignorance. I'm like, if you're gonna do it, like do it right. Like, what are you? Come on.
Well, like they were like, I worked in Jersey. Okay, it's like I lived in Manhattan, but I had to like commute to Park Ridge. So let's
right.
It is what it is. But
what sort of like, I guess if that scene were to have been pursued and you hadn't pulled on it, what sort of things were you prepared to, I guess, talk about beforehand? Like what, I don't know, like
I hadn't even thought it through.
Especially in this time, like I feel like whatever boy, like young man's gonna in New York City of all places is gonna respond and go through with that. It's like, we're just trying not to, at minimum. Some people are trying to do the right thing, and some people are at least just trying not to do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So there's just a little bit of that. And like I said, it was like a thing I hadn't done, but thing I'd be like, I'll try it for your enjoyment. Because I just like doing interesting scenes and doing different things. So it's not that like I secretly wanted to try to do race play. It's not like I'm into CNC. It's just more like, I'll try that. Yeah. Slave play was fucking intense.
Yeah, it was so intense, and it was so funny though. Like,
folks, just to let them know, Slave Play did a limited run here on Broadway. Brilliant show. If it ever comes to your neck of the woods, gotta go see it. But it was this limited run show that was just all about like race and sexuality and power, and also like you don't necessarily know what the plot is going in. Like I had no idea what we were about to see. I just knew what the themes were.
Yeah,
and it was like. Also, I saw with my mom.
Wow.
Mid-50s. Well, okay, so I wanted to go see the show anyway because my roommate Matt was like, yeah, I think he saw in previews, and he was like, yeah, I know it's really good. It was like brilliant, blah, blah, blah. This guy, he's like 21 who wrote it. And I was like, so I knew I wanted to see it. And then for Christmas, I told my mom, like, I will buy 2 tickets to any Broadway show you want to take you to besides Hamilton or To Kill a Mockingbird. Because my girlfriend bought me tickets to that one. I'm sorry, taking me. So Barbara Presida, 50-something-year-old white lady from North Jersey. I say, what do you want to see? And she says, I think there's a show out called Slave. I would like to see that one.
Oh, shish kebab. She said, okay.
No idea what it's about. She doesn't know the plot either. I think she knows the themes involved. She didn't even realize it was called Slave Play and not just like, it's a play called Slave.
Oh, that's some white people shit right
It's not
there.
Quest Tribe. It is So she's like, okay, we'll go see it. And we sat there and like, we'll just say like the opening of the show is an incredibly sexual opening. And I'm just sitting there next to Bobby being like, we're going on a journey. Can't wait for the car ride after this one.
How was that? I gotta know.
I mean, it was great. My mom is like a trying to be progressive white. She's good. I got her onto sex work decrim. Like she's on board.
Oh wow, go for her.
Yeah. If you hand her an article, she wants to learn. She just had, she didn't know what she didn't know, and you can't blame people for that. Now, when you know what you don't know, now that's an issue.
Problem.
So I mean, like right now, like the George Floyd stuff completely woke her up in a way that the countless other murders didn't.
Yeah.
But woke her up nonetheless. So she's on so for Slave Play, she was just like, we really had thoughts. Also, we're waiting outside. So she's for many years referred to a man that she used to date called Mr. 6'5". My parents broke up and separated and got back together like 5 times before they actually got the divorce. So like my mom, she had her times. I didn't really know what her dating life was like.
So she got it down the street around the corner.
She had it down the street around the corner. But I think he lived in New York City. And she'd always call him Mr. 6'5". I didn't know much, but I knew there was a guy in my mom's life at some point during my parents' like breakups called Mr. 6'5". We're outside waiting for the cast to come out. And she says something along the lines of, yeah, this makes me think about when I was with Mr. 6'5". And I'm like,
was he black?
That's what I asked. Yeah. I had no idea. Like, it wouldn't be a problem. It just like was interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah. And then she was like, "Oh, this made things make more sense about my time with Mr. 6'5". And I'm like, okay. And then we had a whole talk in the car ride. I like to think Bobby left New York City that day a slightly better white lady.
I think
From
she
seeing that.
did.
Yeah.
But I think we've all left a little slightly better because I wasn't expecting that little twist.
Yeah.
I'm like, I see you, Bobby. I see you.
Was there anything in the show that particularly spoke to you?
No, I'm trying to think because it had so
many
layers.
elements going on. Yeah.
Yeah, so many.
I mean, it wasn't even just about interracial relationships. They had like the queer relationships that were in there. They had different motivations. They had different types.
Yeah, like I don't want to go into too much because I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But I'm like, that's how we're going to ruin it because you got to either read it or see it.
Oh, wait, I forgot we can read plays. I genuinely forgot that.
I know. It's okay.
But it's a great show. Please read.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that. And you know what, though? Now that I'm sitting here saying this out loud, I'm wondering if it's on any of the Lincoln Center stuff that they made available during COVID, because it really is an amazing play. And I know they made a lot of musicals available. And it's just one of those plays that made me think on various levels, because it, like, here's an easy giveaway and it's not a big deal, which was basically three couples and trying to figure out dealing with their relationship and being slaves and being overseers. And the one that just always kind of just made me just in a way sad, but it made me think of homosexual relationships was the homosexual couple. And just thinking of back in the days of slavery, there really were homosexuals and white men who had feelings for their slaves and wanted them, and then they would do the buck breaking. And then I think of all the sexual abuse that went on within that whole, let's just call it a community for what they were. Because, you had sons raping their mothers, not knowing. They put bags over their heads because they wanted to get the women pregnant and made sure that they stayed pregnant and had more slaves. And so you couldn't see that you were messing and having sex with your mother or your sister. They just put bags over their heads. And I just think of that. And whenever I think of that whole even play, and then my need for race play, I know on some level it's all tied within a story. And one of the weirdest things for me now, like you asked me in the very beginning, what my relationship status was, and I'm single. And about 2015, I decided to stop dating all white American men. I still date European men, and I was traveling a lot. Like, I did 70 countries in 4 years between 2015 and 2019. And when doing that, I've either kissed somebody or fucked somebody in all of them.
You've really tasted the world.
I've tasted all the rainbows, sucked all the dick, enjoyed myself, and I'm gonna write a little book called Sabbatical Smooches about that, because it was like my time off, and I was just collecting kisses around the globe. But while doing that and being away, my main reason is that even when I was coming up with that idea and that concept, it was still in a way to get at white American men. Like, I didn't want them inside me. I didn't want them around me. Like, even now when I fuck them, it's a total different, like, and now I've gone back to fucking them because,
Times are tough.
Yeah, I mean, I'm stuck here in the States. I can't get out. I do need some penis, and I'm good. I'd fuck an African American man or Indian man or any man. I mean, a good looking man. That's pretty much
maybe a good looking man with a pretty penis. And
oh my God,
you need to eat the box. It
well,
seems like
if you got a pretty penis, criteria. I mean, no, not even a pretty penis. But like, the pretty penis is not it. Because, I mean, I've only seen 2.
Oh.
I mean, I've seen a couple of nice. Well, I mean, there's some runner-up penises, but I can't remember their names.
There's like a pride in me that like wants to stick up. I'm like, there's more than 2 out there. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
No, but I mean, like, I can remember I can tell you his full fucking birth name.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that. So I'm just like,
I'm surprised you don't have an interest in wanting to top like and dominate white guys.
oh, I've done that. I like that.
But I'm surprised that you put out the ad that you did and not like say the reverse.
Because you
like
know
do
what?
race play, but where you're in the power position.
Because that's Monday through Thursday. Like, you know,
That's work.
That's life. You know, it's in general, like even with old 28, you know, like, well, I mean, it's an equal power play type of situation. But like, I find men, especially men who love performing oral on women, like that's a submissive act and within itself, especially to like, you know, to give that pleasure. So I find men who really like to do that, they, at the end of the day, like to be dominated. And if like, I'm, you know, never put on a strap on, but I've gotten like, you know, a dildo or a vibrator and stuck it up a guy's ass and loved it. And I mean, you know, if somebody says, hey, you want to try this out? Here's like, you know, strap on, do it. I'm like, yeah, I'm down. But, you know, it's still, you got to find people who are into that. Find people that, you know, and it's also building a relationship, not necessarily like a romantic relationship, but a sexual relationship. And like I said, after I got to a point of being, you know, 45, I'm like, I have to make sure that I use my words and make it known what I want and find out what the other person wants. So we're both taken care of.
Sure.
Because at this point, like, that's all it's about. It's about enjoying ourselves and having fun. Like, I've made it this long, no kids, no husband, no bullshit. I get to have all the sex I want. I live in a 2 fucking bedroom. I should have sex in every room I want to. And I'm just like, why not? It's you know, my prerogative, and that's what I'm about.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I'm hoping for all the pretty penises you could possibly want to come your way. Of whatever colors and shapes and sizes. Do you have like another like 15 minutes to do a little bonus episode?
Yeah.
But for now, where can people find you?
Everything is I am Kit Williams from Instagram.
And that's Kit with 2 T's?
1 T.
One T.
Yep.
Okay.
I am KITWILLIAMS. That's on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter.
I'm assuming you're doing the good TikToks. You got the green screen hung up here.
Well, yeah, but my TikToks kind of suck now. Like, I did really well at first, and that's when I got lazy. And it's so funny because me and 2 of my people in one of my sketch teams, we're all doing TikToks at the same time, and mine blew up first because I had like 150,000 likes. I thought I was big shit. Oh yeah, I thought it was all day.
It's more likes than I've ever gotten on a thing.
Well, now though, Brett, which he's now left the gang. He's actually moved. The COVID took him out of New York, but he did one TikTok and he had 11.2 million views, and now he's like doing stuff for Yahoo, and I'm like this, you better go out there and make that damn money, boy, because let me tell you something, the minute he makes something, I'm like this, I'm coming to work for you. You're gonna put me on like your little show, you're gonna do whatever, but I'm gonna get a check. And so it's just really cool to see people trying all these new different platforms, and it's taken off. I was really kind of hoping that Quigley would take off a little bit better, but well, so it's just like finding my own path and finding a way that makes it work. So I just tell everybody, I'm like this, if you find something that works for you, fuck what everybody else thinks and do it, because you got nothing to lose. And
go find her again at I am Kit Williams.
Yep.
Patreon people, folks, $5 and up, folks. You're going to hear a bonus episode come on out tomorrow. But for now, Kit, why don't you go say goodbye to everybody else?
All right. I would like to say bye.
The Man Whore Podcast is sponsored by HotMovies.com. Try out some ethical, paid-for porn for free with none of those hidden fees or secret subscriptions when you sign up at HotMovies.com and use the promo code MANWHORE. Kit Williams, everybody. Go check her out. Go give her the follows on the places. You know where to get it. I assume you all know where to get it from me, right? You want to get it. You want to get it from me, don't you? Oh, you want to get it from me? Come get it from me. On the Instagram. Folks, people, Instagram. I've got one. Again, I'm posting the things. I'm looking cute. If you ever wanted to see me look cute, Instagram's where you got to go for it right now. I'm over there at Billy is Presida. I'm also on Twitter at the Billy Presida if you want to see more jokes, if you want to see some more Man Whore Podcast news and various sex-positive memes, go smash that like button on the Man Whore Podcast Facebook fan page. It's also the place where you go to get your Man Whore merch. Just click the shop button. I want to throw this out there on behalf of a friend of the pod, Geeky and Kinky Pins. They have sponsored all 3 Man Whore Cons. The guy who runs the thing, his name's Kevin. He has been a longtime supporter of the podcast on Patreon, and he owns his own small business called Geeky and Kinky Pins. I fucking love these things. This is not a paid endorsement. I've had my magic wand pin on my backpack for a couple years now. Geeky and Kinky Pins, they make pins, right? These animal pins that like mix like nerd culture and kink culture, and it's so fucking fun. You know, they've got like a Dom Scooby-Doo. They've got, Snow White tied up. There's Leather Daddy. There's Leather Daddy Thanos from Avengers and so much more. I think they also do like, stickers and t-shirts and such. Anyways, small business, sex positive, supports this show. And after 4 years and 19,000 followers, his Instagram got taken down. For the same reasons my Instagram got taken down a couple years back. For the same reasons a lot of sex positive, non-pornographic accounts get removed on Instagram. And I would just really love it if you would go follow Kevin and his company at Geeky and Kinky Co. That's Geeky and Kinky Co. on Instagram. Please go give them a follow. And if you want to make me really happy, share one of his posts in your story to help spread the word. Okay, it really sucks as an independent content creator or as a small business owner to have an account go from 19,000 to 0. So let's help boost those numbers a bit. If you want to email me any of your comments, your questions, your criticisms, which will be taken with grace, you can send anything and all things over to manwhorepod@gmail.com. If you want to hear more of my conversation with Kit Williams, we talk a little bit more about her upbringing and her high school and college years and her fucking around the globe. And you're going to hear that exclusively at patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. That's Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. I've got some exciting interviews getting lined up right now, and I'm really hyped for them. I've got another past partner lined up. Whoa! It's been a while since we've had one of those. I don't think we've had one of my past hookups since we had porn star Alexis Allure on the show. So y'all are in for a fucking treat and a good slate of episodes coming up. Until then, I gotta pack. I'm moving on Saturday. And then once I'm in the new place, someone may be starting to stream a certain type of less than clothed venture. Stay tuned, get on the mailing list, and stay slutty.